And the other thing is, I want to go to any service member that is going from service into private industry. You have a part in cybersecurity and AI because you guys are trained, you're disciplined, you already have the way to think and everything. But my background is pretty simple. I'm 58 years old, and my father was in the U.S. Army. So at the age of 7, I started with computers, and I started working on them down at my dad's place, playing little soldier. And they were teaching me all kinds of things back when most people didn't even know computers existed in the early 70s. And I loved it. And I loved being around all the guys. They were like my brothers. So I just got a very big taste for it and kept doing it. Even in high school, we splurged and got a computer, which most people didn't have one back in the early 80s. And my mom and dad would say, "Oh, you can't touch it." But then something would go wrong. They went, "Can you fix this?" And then walk off. They'd be like, "Oh, good God, the kid." So, and my dad, by the way, was a logistics supply sergeant. So basically operations. And my mom, an accountant, bookkeeper. So I got two alphas that were really just, great. So I was really great at math, science, and organization. So long story short, I actually decided to do my bachelor's of science in computer science with a minor in mathematics. Now, please note, I'm also was one class away from a minor in physics and a minor in German, but hey, forgive me. We do digress. And I got that in 1989. And then in 1992, I finished with a master's in human computer interface design and artificial intelligence, which most people think, oh, AI is new. No, it's been around since the 50s. And it's really, you're seeing the part where it interacts with you. You're not seeing all the machine language back there. But when I was at Auburn University, I caught my first hacker when I worked for the wide area network administrator for Auburn. So I caught my first hacker in 1991. And I was so proud. And I even got them to do something they will not allow you to do today, which was call the hacker and tell him how bad he was right before the police banged on his door in Texas to arrest him. And I did say War Eagle. It was my privilege to do that. My boss thought it was funny too. But I'm also, I'm one of those that can cause a lot of hectic things. If you're familiar with Unix or ever heard the term, there was a version called Sun Unix. I'm the reason they have a footnote in the book not to move the libraries to a virtual link. I crashed the whole entire system for the university. Thank you. I've also crashed a whole entire mini mainframe at my first school. Yeah, they didn't tell me I couldn't do what I was doing. So I ended up going out into the private industry after my master's, and I wanted to stay on the East Coast because of my mom. And long story short, I didn't do AI. I did what I was really good at, which was systems. And what happened was I ended up working for a couple of international companies. One was a French company called Schlumberger, and I did a lot of automation stuff with that for them and system administration. And start finding internal hackers. Sometimes the people that work with you or for you or even your family can be the ones opening up the doors to let anybody in. You don't want that. And engineering thought that they controlled that environment until they met me. And they were going in and we had this closet where all the connections were. And they literally had gotten the code to the door from the previous administrator or going in there, changing their connections whenever they wanted. They did not know me. I changed everything over a weekend, the whole 9 yards, but left the code. And one day I get a call. The president says his connection's not working. I went in there, sat down, took the wire out because I had changed the wire colors so they didn't know. Took the one that I knew was theirs. And when they came in to change it back, I came around the corner and I said, "How'd you get the code?" They couldn't answer me. And then I said, "Oh, by the way," and I took some scissors and I cut their cable in half. And I said, "If you ever come in my room and do this again, I'll cut you off the internet permanently." Like, "You can't do that." "Yes, I can. You don't know me. My scissors work on all these cables. I will cut them all." So I solved that problem. And then I had them in this company, particularly the marketing guys were out all the time. And they would allow anybody to give them a disk or a thumb drive and put it in their computers. So every week I was cleaning their computers. So 2 lessons. 1, know who's got your codes, even on just physical security. Who's got your keys to your house? Who's got the keys to your business? Who's got your codes? Any alarm codes or anything like that. You got to know those. You got to know who's got them. And if you're getting rid of somebody, change them. Even if they give the key back, unless they're a friend, well, not a friend, well, sometimes a friend, but a family member, I would change my locks, just to be honest, because they could have made a copy. Now, the other thing is anything that they had access to. So your emails, your marketing, anything that has a password and a login, you need to change your passwords. Matter of fact, a good practice for personal is every 180 days. For your business, every 90 days, change your passwords. And the reason, passwords are easy for most people to guess. Try to make it a phrase in your mind, something you can sing or something you can say, and either take the first letter or the whole phrase. And always put at least one, either exclamation point or @ sign like that in it, and a number. I say put the numbers in the middle. That usually throws them off.